Everyone thinks America's history began with the Pilgrims. They are wrong. It began with a vanishing. Before Plymouth Rock, before Jamestown, there was Roanoke, a small island off the coast of what we now call North Carolina, destined to become the site of America's first truly baffling mystery. A story of ambition, hope, and an entire colony that simply vanished. The year is 1587. Queen Elizabeth I of England is determined to establish a permanent foothold in the New World, a counter to the Spanish presence further south. She grants Sir Walter Raleigh a patent to colonize Virginia, a vast, ill-defined territory. Raleigh, a dashing courtier and adventurer, wouldn't go himself. Instead, he dispatched a group of 117 English settlers led by Governor John White, an artist and cartographer who had visited the region before. Their mission: establish the city of Raleigh on Chesapeake Bay. But fate, or perhaps poor navigation, intervened. The fleet's captain, Simon Fernandez, an experienced but difficult Portuguese pilot, refused to take them further north. He insisted they disembark on Roanoke Island, the site of a previous, ill-fated English attempt. This was a critical deviation. Roanoke was not the agreed-upon location, and it had already proven difficult to sustain a settlement. Tensions with the local indigenous tribes, already strained, would only worsen. The colonists arrived in July, just in time for the intense summer heat and the race against winter. They found the remains of the earlier fort, partially overgrown. They began rebuilding, a desperate scramble for shelter and survival. Among the settlers was John White's pregnant daughter, Eleanor Dare. On August 18, 1587, she gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas, a brief beacon of hope in a harsh new world. But supplies were dwindling. The colonists were ill-equipped and unprepared for the challenges. By late August, Governor White, torn between his family and his duty, made the agonizing decision to sail back to England for more provisions and aid. He left specific instructions. If the colony moved, they were to carve the name of their new destination into a tree or post. If they were in distress, they were to carve a Maltese cross above the name. White anticipated a quick return, perhaps within a few months, but Europe had other plans. England was on the brink of war with Spain. The Spanish Armada was gathering, and Queen Elizabeth commandeered all available ships for defense. John White was trapped. For 3 agonizing years, he fought to return, desperate for news of his daughter, granddaughter, and the colonists. The war, and then storms, repeatedly thwarted his attempts. Finally, in August 1590, White managed to secure passage on a privateering expedition. He arrived back at Roanoke to an eerie silence. The fort was gone, the houses dismantled. No smoke, no voices, no sign of life. He found only 2 clues. On a palisade post, carved deeply, was the word Croatoan, and nearby on a tree, the letters CRO were etched. No Maltese cross, no sign of distress. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, now Hatteras Island, home to a friendly indigenous tribe, the Croatan. White's heart must have leaped. Perhaps they had simply moved there, assimilated. He tried to sail to Croatoan, but a massive storm blew in, threatening to sink his ships. With supplies low and his crew mutinous, White was forced to abandon the search. He never saw his family or any of the colonists again. So what happened to the lost colony? For centuries, historians, archaeologists, and amateur sleuths have debated. The theories range from the plausible to the fantastical. The most widely accepted theory aligns with John White's initial hope that the colonists integrated with the Croatan tribe or perhaps another local group, the Lumbee. This would explain the lack of a distress signal. Oral traditions among some indigenous groups in North Carolina speak of fair-skinned ancestors distinct from other tribes. DNA evidence is inconclusive, but offers tantalizing hints of European admixture in some descendants. Another theory suggests a more violent end. Perhaps they were attacked by a hostile tribe, like the Powhatan, who were known to be wary of English expansion. The absence of bodies, however, makes this less likely. Famine, disease, and environmental factors are also strong contenders. A severe drought has been identified in the region around that time, which could have driven them from Roanoke in search of sustenance. Then there are the less conventional ideas that they attempted to sail back to England and were lost at sea, or even that they were taken by the Spanish. But there's no historical record to support either of these claims. In recent decades, archaeological digs have uncovered tantalizing clues: pottery shards, copper objects, and even a lead writing tablet that belonged to John White himself, discovered far inland from Roanoke. These findings suggest that at least some colonists did move further inland, perhaps to a place called Site X near the Albemarle Sound, attempting to establish a new, safer community. The story of the lost colony of Roanoke remains a potent symbol of early American exploration's harsh realities. It's a tale of courage, desperation, and an enduring mystery that continues to haunt the imagination. What other historical vanishings deserve a deeper look? Let me know in the comments below.